In the words of Henry Ford, an American industrialist and founder of Ford Motor Company, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. This aptly describes the partnership between the International Organization for Migration, IOM, and NAPTIP. We're glad to have you join us on another edition of NAPTIP On The Move. My name is Angela Agbegi. NAPTIP and IOM have a long-standing partnership, which is yielding results in the fight against human trafficking and irregular migration. Today we bring you videos from one of the preventive projects implemented by the IOM and NAPTIP. The project, Preventing Trafficking in Persons Through a Traveling Awareness-Raising Exposition, also known as the Blue Bus Project, was funded by the government of Switzerland. Let's take a look.
If you look at it, there is something that NAPTIP calls the push and the pull factors. Why is it that people want to go out, despite the fact that majority of them are embarking on what we call the dangerous journey?
The widespread contemporary exploitation of men, women, and children is unacceptable in a country like Nigeria. Over the years, there have been different traditional approaches to prevent trafficking in human beings, protect trafficked persons, and bring criminals to justice. These various techniques have made some impact, but are not enough. There are still many young men out there who don't know what human trafficking is, many young ladies who have been sexually exploited, and many young persons who have been denied the benefits of childhood. There are clear signs in the public that we must renew our techniques to save those that are vulnerable. The Blue Bus Awareness Initiative to fight human trafficking was born out of a renewed commitment by the International Organization for Migration, the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, and the government of Switzerland to raise awareness and direct more attention to the detrimental impact of human trafficking in Nigeria. The Blue Bus Sensitization Campaign is a traveling awareness-raising exposition enlightening people on the dangers of irregular migration, offering information on how to report cases, and providing counseling to former and potential victims.
The unique component when we look at the Blue Bus is it's a one-stop shop where community members can be able to get different information all at the same time.
The essence of it is a traveling expository awareness raising campaign. That is the essence of it, that the vehicle will go on a long distance, and in the process you are able to talk to people, you are able to reach out to a large number of people.
The idea was conceived by the fact that we had a similar campaign a few years ago in Switzerland with a pink bus going around several communities to educate people about human trafficking in Switzerland. We
had to settle for this idea with the NAPTIP, and this was based on the successful implementation of a similar campaign in our IOM office in Switzerland. We were looking at
Trying to deviate from the traditional way of creating awareness.
At the moment, the Blue Bus has visited 3 key locations. That is Lagos, where we first started the sensitization, and then it has gone to Edo State, where it has been able to do sensitization in 10 communities. and it has also done sensitization in Delta, which was just concluded recently, reaching out also to 10 communities. As part of expansion, we'll be rolling out similar campaigns, of course, in other endemic areas, but still specifically within these 3 key states. What basically we've been doing, of course, alongside with NAPTIP is as much as possible work directly with the community members. So in as much as IOM and NAPTIP are leading, we are also working with different community leaders. We've also been able to activate the different campaigns through a radio program, and we've also been able to activate it through a TV program.
We appear in a uniform, which is our t-shirt. We also appear putting on our sunglasses, which we call Shine Your Eye. And then if you also look at the box itself, the box depicts what we are doing. It shows images, it shows graphics, it shows number that you can call, it shows messages.
I think it is very important. I mean, for the public, I know some people know about human trafficking, but a lot of people don't still. Or they might have heard of the term, but they don't know exactly what it means.
It has given that platform where community members can be able to get information, especially when it comes to where to report cases of human trafficking, where also to access information and what kind of signs to look for when it comes to issues of human trafficking.
Ẹ má fi ọmọ yín sílẹ̀ fún ògùn ẹrú, oríṣiríṣi ni wọ́n fi ọmọ ṣe. Wọ́n máa wá gẹ́gẹ́ bí aláàánú sí yín. Ẹ jẹ́ ká help ọmọ yín. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ràn yín lọ́wọ́. Ìyà yìí ti pọ̀ jù. Irọ́ ni. Make you travel right. Don't go do wuruwuru. Don't go through the desert. Make you go embassy. Go carry visa. Make you travel well.
Even in the course of the one we did in Lagos, we had some member or some family coming to report cases to us. We also even see some that will tell you that this is ongoing now in a certain area. Can you please tell your people to come there and talk to our people? And then we are also able to, during that period, we are also able to make some arrests. We are also able to stop some people that they were also planning to take away.
Human traffickers prey on people who are weak, poor, and unaware. Victims go through a lot of dehumanizing experiences in the hands of the traffickers to survive. Some of them work intense labor for more than 18 hours a day without being paid. Some are forced to sleep with men at brothels in our communities, while some others work as domestic servants in different homes. They are abused, paid little, and their rights seized from them.
I was brought in to sleep with men. After sleeping with them, she collects the money. Abuse is an understatement. My life was messed up.
We try to look at the consequences when it comes to human trafficking. There is always the issue, of course, in terms of exploitation.
What we also look at is that it fuels irregular migration. It also fuels corruption. And then it also fuels some kind of economic, money laundering, because some of them, when they make those money, they want to use it they want to put that money in something to bring it back to Nigeria. It creates negative image for our country. In the process of human trafficking, in the process of irregular migration or smuggling of migrants, you have issues like rape coming in. We have issues like falsification of documents coming in. Even at the height of it, you have some of them becoming dead. To confront the crime of trafficking in persons and irregular migration, the political will is important. The political will of the federal government is important, and the federal government is also in that regard doing a lot to support NAPTIP in terms of giving us allocation, in terms of giving us the required logistics. Palermo Protocol in 2000 gave rise to creation of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, and so we have an act of parliament that has created NAPTIP via its law or its act. And so this is one area in which we guide trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants. You also agree with me that apart from the NAPTIP law, we also have some other laws. We have the immigration law of 2017. We also have the law, the ECOWAS plan of action on trafficking in persons, and these are when you are now looking at international now. Then also when you also look at local law, we also look at penal code, we also look at criminal laws, we look at Nigerian constitution. So these are laws that guide trafficking in persons and irregular migration.
The fight against human trafficking is still on, thanks to the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, the International Organization for Migration, IOM, and with funding from the government of Switzerland for launching the Blue Bus Initiative, a project to raise awareness of the dangers of human trafficking among vulnerable people across the country. The project is titled Preventing Trafficking in Persons through a Traveling Awareness Raising Exposition. NAPTIP has continually risen to the challenge of reaching people who are unaware of the various methods traffickers use in getting their victims.
In terms of addressing issues of human trafficking, it requires extensive collaboration, both with the state, also including the non-state actors, in terms of coming up with the different strategies that can be used in terms of curbing human trafficking.
What we do in NAPTIP and with IOM is we collaborate, we share information, we share intelligence, especially with the law enforcement agency, we synergize. And the area of coordination is key, because whatever we are doing, if it is not coordinated, we are not going to get it right.
Without coordination, we don't get anywhere. Because there's a lot of actors currently involved in Nigeria and all over the world in fighting human trafficking or preventing human trafficking, raising awareness or supporting victims, giving them psychosocial support. We also talk about the police who will investigate and persecute.
As a UN migration agency, IOM, we are not against the issues of people should not migrate. However, what we advocate for is we need to promote safe and orderly migration. This is whereby for anybody who wants to migrate, they need to ensure they have the right information.
Since 2017, IOM has assisted in the voluntary return and reintegration of more than 22,500 Nigerian migrants, of which approximately 15% are victims of trafficking from Libya, Mali, Europe, and the Middle East, among others.
Well, the time Lagos zonal area started the Blue Bus project, it was a rainy season period. So that was a major challenge, because sometimes our officers will move out, all in the name of going for sensitization for awareness raising campaign, and they get to their location and the rain start coming down. So that was a major challenge for us. Part of the major objective of the Blue Bus project is for us to also cancel. We are supposed to also cancel. So we are able to bring in few of them, to cancel them, and then to also tell them what to watch out for.
With the support of the International Organization for Migration, NAPTIP has toured Nigerian states, taking the mandate to areas that are mostly affected by human trafficking.
The biggest success story I'll credit to reaching to more communities within the stipulated period. Initially, when we conceived this idea, our target was to reach out to the 20 communities in these 3 locations. But looking at the impact, especially when we started rolling out the campaign in Lagos, as opposed to them doing 10, they were able to reach out to 18. So, and cumulatively, if we were to look at the success rate, we've been able to reach out to more than 40 communities, which is a double to what was initially conceived. And for this, I'll not only attribute to IOM, but I'll also attribute to our different stakeholders on ground who has really made it easy for the exposition to be carried out in the different communities.
This ongoing project is funded by the government of Switzerland through the Swiss State Secretariat for Migration.
Well, the Swiss government have been able to do a lot, especially when you are looking at providing the required finance. They have been there all the while supporting IOM and supporting Nigerian government.
The campaign is very important to us because the prevention of human trafficking is a key element in our migration partnership between Nigeria and Switzerland. This partnership was established 10 years ago and has grown into a comprehensive, flexible and innovative instrument of cooperation based on mutual trust and respect. Within this partnership, we jointly discuss and address common challenges and interests related to migration, and we identify new avenues for collaboration. It is exactly in this spirit that the Blue Bus campaign was born.
I want to see a lot of state government coming in. I want to see a lot of private organizations coming in, because the truth is that it is highly capital intensive. And then if the federal government, the state government, the local government, the NGOs, then the private sector are able to buy into this project, we are going to achieve a lot.
The Blue Bus is a one-stop shop where vulnerable migrants, including community members, can get information on risks associated with trafficking in persons, where to report cases, and on-the-spot counseling services. If you see something, say something. Help prevent someone from becoming a victim of human trafficking. Stay active in the fight against human trafficking.
Your attention, please.
Are you a travel agent, or do you plan to travel abroad for work, school, professional sports activities or school excursion? Are you worried about incessant reports of human trafficking and unjust practices? NAPTIP is here to help. The Standard Operating Procedure for International Recruitment, recently launched by the federal government and relevant agencies, and NAPTIP's Regulation 2019, ensures that proper vetting is conducted and a clearance certificate issued by NAPTIP, so that your mind is at rest when you travel. Avoid irregular migration and falling victim of human trafficking. Regular and safe migration is possible. For more information, log on to tipclearance.naptip.gov.ng. This message is brought to you by NAPTIP with support from the International Organization for Migration.
We hope you were enlightened. Human trafficking is indeed a fight for all of government and all of society. Our next video from the Blue Bus project, titled Life in Niger, features an account of a survivor. Keep watching NAPTIP On The Move.
I felt it was a God-sent opportunity for me to get out of my mess, because at 13 years my life was messed up. So I jumped on it. Meanwhile, when we got to Lagos, the story was different.
A lot of people are trafficked in Nigeria each year. This modern slavery involves the use of force and fraud or coercion to obtain some type of labor or commercial sex act against the will of the person trafficked. The trafficked victims include men, women, and even children. Sadly, not all of the victims succeed during the process. Some don't even make it back alive. We were able to listen to the story of a young lady who got rescued by NAPTIP. She told us a lot about how she was trafficked and the things she had to do to survive.
I lost my two parents before I was 6 or 7, so I practically grew up with my granny. She passed on when I was 13 years. I moved on to stay with my uncle. Then the 4th month, he called me and said that he doesn't have enough resources to cater for me and his 5 children, that I have to look for where I'm going to live. So like that, I was roaming about from one place to another. So it was in the process of roaming about that I got trafficked. And having nowhere to go, I moved to a friend's place, and she was like that. She knows someone that sells stores in Lagos, and then each time she comes home for Christmas celebration, that she asks her if there's a friend that she could give to her to come and help her in Lagos and she's willing to send the person to school. And me, looking for help. I felt it was a God-sent opportunity for me to get out of my mess, because as at 13 years, my life was messed up. So I jumped on it. That was how I entered it. Meanwhile, when we got to Lagos, the story was different. I was brought in to sleep with men. After sleeping with them, she collects the money. Abuse is an understatement. My life was messed up. Nowhere to go, no one to run to, and I was not even familiar with where I was. For refusing to do the work, I was in a room for 2 days. She didn't give me food. She just locked me inside a room there for 2 days. So the third day, I had to give in. When I eventually agreed to do the rubbish, she told me that normally the police will come into the hotel, that if I see them, I should run. And if they catch me, I should tell them that I brought myself to the hotel. The day the police came, night around 8, while we were there along the line, I started yelling, run, run, run. And then everybody started running. And me, I was not enjoying the mess. I needed a way out. So while everybody ran away, me, I stood there with the half-naked rubbish she gave me to wear. That was how I was rescued. When they took me, they asked me, how did I get here? I said it was someone that brought me home, but she has told me to say this. I was locked up in a cell and I was wondering, what did I do wrong? I was in police station for 3 days because she told them lies. So those ones, they didn't know who to believe, because as at then, my English was rubbish. So until they got an interpreter from my place, I spoke, the woman interpreted to the police. They found that she was lying. The police took her and then they called NAPTIP and handed me over to NAPTIP. After rescuing me, they rehabilitated me for 6 months. NAPTIP tried their best. They sent me to a private school, and it was in the hands of NAPTIP. I had my secondary school education and then my university education. So I'm a BSc holder. I read accounting. So that is it.
NAPTIP has been working tirelessly to ensure that the issues of human trafficking should be of the past. NAPTIP as an agency, we have a department, Public Enlightenment Department. We have carried out a lot of awareness creation. So we sensitize the public on the menace on the issues of human trafficking in Nigeria. We go to markets, churches, mosques, the local communities. We do sensitization to schools, both primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions. And we have even co-opted human trafficking into the junior secondary education as the curriculum. We also make sure that we punish the offenders, we convict the offenders. NAPTIP trains their officers very well on the indicators, on the ways the traffickers are using to ensure that they recruit innocent children. If you suspect human trafficking in Nigeria, you need to report every case of human trafficking to NAPTIP. We are in virtually 10 states. You can also report to our sister agencies like the police, the immigration. So if we report to them, they will definitely refer the case to us. Sometimes the capacity of our shelters is being overstretched. So we need the partners to help us to establish more rehabilitation centers and also to donate to our trust fund, as well as helping us in employment of victims. We have rescued over 18,000 Nigerian children, both abroad and here. To stamp it, NAPTIP will continue to collaborate with its partners. So a sensitization program, awareness creation, is key to stamping out human trafficking.
There are 40 million victims of human trafficking in the world. We believe in a future where no one falls victim to human trafficking.
NAPTIP On The Move is sponsored by the International Organization for Migration, IOM. For more inquiries and support or to report cases of suspected human trafficking, violence against persons and child abuse, please call NAPTIP hotline 0703 0000203 or the short code 627 or email us info@naptip.gov.ng. Visit our website www.naptip.gov.ng. Follow us on our social media platforms at NAPTIP Nigeria or watch our videos on YouTube.
Special thanks to the International Organization for Migration, IOM, and the government of Switzerland. The Blue Bus project was indeed a success. This is where we draw the curtain on this episode of NAPTIP On The Move. Till I come your way again, don't forget to report cases of human trafficking, violence against persons, and child abuse. I'm Angela at Brigi. We look forward to having you with us again next week.